Hey,
Oh,
house guests!
hi.
Welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 11 digital daily update. It's double eviction day. How do you feel?
Great. How do you feel?
I'm ready to get this show on the road.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, right? I mean, we've had weeks before where two people have left, but it's just not the same as a good old-fashioned double eviction all in 1 hour.
Baby.
Yeah, so let's get it done. Before we can get to that, our house guests of the day are David Klein and Christine Sandusky. Yay!
Wonderful.
Thank you both so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes. We really appreciate it.
We do.
So if you guys are watching this and you want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right. When we left off yesterday, Kuzie and Anika are up on the block. As we know, it's not looking good for Kuzie. But Ty really wants Kuzie to stay. He wants to go all the way to the final two with her. So he was trying to come up with a game plan for her campaign.
If anybody can do it, it's Ty.
Right. So they had an idea, it's kind of a Hail Mary, but it's something. So their idea was to propose a final four deal to Claudia and Renee.
0% chance of happening.
Yeah, I mean...
0. Less than 0.
Yeah. If it did work, Kuzie would have Claudia and Ty's votes, and then Renee would be the tiebreaker. So it would be enough for her to stay.
Yeah.
Delivery.
I think so.
But it doesn't... It doesn't seem likely that Claudia or Renee would be on board with this. Buddy, relax.
Oh, come here.
Come here.
He said,
Handsome.
Mommy's supplies are here for baking.
Oh, wonderful. All right. So it's a last-ditch effort. We didn't get to see the actual pitch.
Sir, please.
We didn't get to see the actual pitch to Claudia or Renee, but it sounds like it happened.
We heard the fallout.
Right, because they were talking about it in today's Digital Daily a little bit.
It almost seemed like they were almost considering it a little bit. Not like they would go through with it, but they were like, well, if we were to do this, then this.
All right, we'll get there. But
at least they weren't like,
yeah. Let's talk about today's Digital Daily. It's covering yesterday in the house, day 54. And it starts out with Anika and Daniel talking in the toucan room.
Okay.
And they are debating, is it better for us to win the next HOH, or should we let Ty do it, and then we can both play in the one after that?
What are you, stupid?
Well, they're wondering, can we trust Ty to target one of the girly pops if he wins, or is he going to, pull a fast one and go after us?
In the words of my dearly departed mom, what are you doing stupid stuff for?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, you just got to win those comps, right?
Yes.
You can't be throwing them.
You don't throw them at final 6, whatever, 5.
Yeah. So Daniel lets Anika know, Ty's been campaigning for Kuzie to stay. And Anika already knew this, and she's not happy about it. She does not feel good about it.
I am not happy about that.
She was complaining a lot in today's Digital Daily. But basically, Ty's pitch to Daniel, I guess he was pitching a final 3 with Ty, Kuzie, and Daniel. And he was saying, Kuzie has the better track record in competitions.
Right.
Anika hasn't won anything.
What has she won?
Yeah. And if we, people's hearts, I don't know.
What has she done?
Yeah. So Ty says, if we're going to make it to the end, we need the strongest team we can put together moving forward. And that would be Kuzie, not Anika. So Daniel's obviously, I'm not going to do that. I'm not keeping Kuzie over you.
How must she have felt laying there with him telling her that she basically sucked in the game? And
I mean, is it true though?
Yes, of course it is.
So
nobody wants to hear that though. Doesn't make you feel good when you're up for a vote.
Well, I mean, it's got to feel good when you're up next to Kuzie, who is the biggest threat to win the whole thing. Daniel says, look, it doesn't make sense for us to go to the end with people who can beat us. So not going to keep Kuzie around. Daniel is also not happy with Kuzie and how things have played out the last few days. He feels like she was trying to test him the other day. Remember, after she was put up on the block and she was like, I guess I'm going. And she was basically accepting it.
Fishing for compliments, it's called.
Well, she was acting down and out to see how Daniel would react. And I feel like Daniel failed because he was basically yeah, I guess you're going. Sucks. And he wasn't no, we're going to fight this. We're going to make sure you get the votes to stay.
Honestly, though, there's no fighting this. because there's just not.
I mean, you can try.
Who other than Daniel would give a vote to Kuzie?
Do I need to remind you of Dan's funeral? There's always a chance, right? There's always a chance that things can turn around.
These guys are not playing on the level as Dan's funeral was.
Yeah.
There's no mist here. He only missed his fart spray.
Ew. All right. Well, we have a game chat here over some pool with Renee and Claudia. And this is where they were kind of talking about Kuzie and Ty's pitches and how they feel bad for Shania because Kuzie is not really pitching to her because Shania is not involved in this proposed deal.
Right.
So Renee and Claudia, they're still planning to keep Anika. But now they're wondering, where do we go from here? If Ty wins the next HOH, do we just beg him for mercy? Do we try to pitch a final 3 with him? I mean, he was trying to make a final 4 with us, so maybe even though Kuzie's leaving, he'll still want to work with us.
No.
I don't think so. Also, I think this is kind of BS on Claudia's end because we know she would much rather keep Shania around than Renee.
Of course.
Yeah. So then Shania joins them, and that's the end of that conversation.
Cut.
Yeah. So Claudia says, I feel bad because when Kuzie was talking to me, she said she just wants to know if she's going or not so that she can enjoy her last few hours here. And Claudia's like, I didn't really give her a clear answer because I'm afraid if I tell her I'm voting her out, she's going to keep pitching to me.
Yeah.
They respect that Kuzie is fighting until the end, but I think they are exhausted.
Yeah.
So then Renee visits Anika and Daniel in the toucan room. These two freaking laying around in their beds, just like,
yeah,
it's
a
lot.
Pathetic.
Well, Anika's talking about how hard it is to be on the block next to Kuzie when she sees Kuzie and Ty like going into all these rooms, room to room, campaigning.
They could go campaigning till the cows come home, but guess what?
That's part of the game.
It's not good. They're not going to change anybody's minds.
Well, Anika's like, I feel like Kuzie is trying to make me look like a villain. I mean, you did that to Kuzie too.
I mean, I don't think she's a villain. But
no, of course
what
not.
What has she done? I mean, I don't think she's trying to make her look like a villain. I think she's just trying to stay.
I feel like Anika's projecting a little bit.
Girl, you're not that important in this game.
I don't know, but she says it's hard because they're friends. They're up on the block, and now there's all this like weird tension. You turned on Kuzie weeks ago, so I don't want to hear any complaining about her campaigning and trying to stay. Let's get a grip here. So then Kuzie comes in, and the room pretty much like falls silent.
Yes,
it was super awkward.
Awkward turtles time.
Yeah. Kuzie was like, Anika, I'm leaving this shirt for you. And Anika's like, no, you don't do that. And Kuzie's like, no, I'm leaving it for you.
That was definitely a like, we were in the Crown together and this was Jonathan's shirt and I'm leaving it for you. Remember when we had an alliance situation?
I feel like maybe it was also a little bit of a dig at Daniel because she was giving something to Anika, but not him.
Maybe.
I don't know. There seems to be a lot of like anger between Kuzie and Daniel for sure. So,
well, because Daniel is
one of the
voter.
votes.
Yeah, he's voting. She's not. She can't do anything.
Right.
So sit there.
What's new?
Lay there.
So then Renee is in the HOH room with Shania and Claudia, and Renee is starting to feel really guilty about sending Kuzie out this week. And Shania and Claudia are reassuring her, it's the right move. Like, we got to do this. If we want to win this game, we got to do this.
She basically took a dump on you in your game, and you're still feeling guilty.
Yeah, well, they were telling Renee, you would feel bad no matter who we were taking out this week.
That's
even
true.
If it was Ty. I mean, like you said, Kuzie told Renee to shut up and sit down. And Renee still feels bad. So they're like, that's just because of who you are as a person. Like, you were going to feel bad no matter what.
Kuzie was pressuring Shania not to use the veto on Renee and send Renee home. I mean
there's been many instances.
When can't get much worse than that.
When Renee watches this back and she sees how Kuzie was talking trash about her. Yeah.
Even a stick in the eye would be better than that.
Yeah. They brought up another good point, too. No one was going to have a shred of sympathy if one of those girly pops was the one leaving this week.
Men.
They were not going to feel bad about it. So,
yes.
You know. But anyway, then, this is so awkward. And Daniel and Kuzie were in the nook. And Daniel tells Kuzie, whatever has happened between us, I can't let you sit by yourself right now. And Kuzie says, I kind of want to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Ty. You know, Ty is the only
person I can be around right now is Ty.
Ty is the only person who hasn't wavered this whole time.
Really?
Oh! Well, honestly, out of everybody, yeah, I think Ty has been the most loyal to Kuzie. Daniel and Anika have been trying to split from her for a while, throwing her under the bus. So,
I mean, Ty wasn't always on the same side as her.
I don't really remember him going against her. He was always looking out for Kuzie. Even when they were on opposite sides. Even when she was taking out Zach, he was still like, yeah, Kuzie. I mean, they got into it a little bit, but they never like actually went against each other.
Yeah.
So Daniel's like, that's not true. I've always had your back in the game.
Well, I mean, around Zach time, he lost Zach, so he had to pick somebody else up. So, I mean, it's not like if Zach was still around, he probably would have not been as close to Kuzie as he was since he lost Zach.
We'll never know. But
true.
But Kuzie's like, I'm happy and proud of what I've done in this game. This happening right now is the consequence of my
Are you
decisions.
Happy and proud because you're going out like a petty bee?
She's going out very petty.
It's very petty.
I mean, when you think of like Hope's exit dance last week compared to like how this is going down.
And now you're going out angry,
bitter,
just not a good look. Not a good look.
Well, Kuzie tells Daniel, I would rather sit alone right now. I just want to gather myself, work on my eviction speech, detach myself from the game, and not have to like be faced with the people who have disappointed me. So Daniel leaves in a huff.
Talk about poor sportsmanship.
Yeah. So anyway,
did you care when anybody else went out and was feeling,
I mean, I could see her being upset about leaving, of course.
Yes, of course, disappointed, but she's taken it to a whole nother level. And it's not legendary Ica level. I mean, this is like just nasty.
Well, Daniel reports back to the girly pops and he's like, I just tried to talk to Kuzie and she told me that she didn't want me to talk to her. So he says, I'm not going to take it personally. But then they're talking about how they feel like Kuzie really knows how to like pull out those heartstrings and make people feel guilty.
Yeah. She certainly does. She reminds me so much of my mom when my mom didn't get her way or she wanted me to do something that I wasn't going to do. And she just, is Kuzie a secret mother? Because she really knows how to pull those guilt trips out.
Well, then back to Kuzie in the nook. Ty comes over and she doesn't send him away.
No.
She says, I don't care.
Says, you're my favorite.
Yeah. I don't care if Daniel's crying. He can keep crying. Damn. Brutal. So she's working on her speech. She's asking Ty for his input on it. She's going to say, like, this is a consequence of my actions. I thought at this stage in the game, a strong player would be held in higher regard, but clearly that's not the case. I take issue with those because just because you want to go to the end with like the strong players doesn't mean everybody else has to do that as well.
To me, that's stupid. When you say you want to,
if you gotta
beat the best.
To be the best, you gotta beat the best.
You've already beaten other strong players because it doesn't matter when they go home in the game.
You're still beating them.
What matters is that they went home.
Yeah.
Not just because you're not at the very end with another strong player. No.
Yeah, that's a very valid argument.
Yeah.
So she's going to be saying that in the speech. Also, choose yourself over others in this game.
No BBCan Manor fan?
I don't know. Good luck to everyone. Choose your game over your like perceived friendship. So she definitely wants to get some digs in there. Like we're not actually friends the way that we thought we were.
Whoa.
All that stuff. So
that's so petty.
Yeah. Ty is hoping that they're going to be asked back for All-Stars. Kuzie would also like that. I could see both of them coming back for All-Stars.
Would Kuzie come back in light of her actions now as a hero or a villain?
I don't think she's a villain. I just think it's...
Really? Because she had this thing going on with Ty undercover the whole time.
Yeah, but I don't consider Kuzie a villain.
I think there's an argument that she could be a villain.
Is she being a poor sport right now? Yes. But I don't think that she's a villain.
Okay.
So then we've got Daniel back in the toucan room talking to Anika, and he's telling her about what happened with Kuzie and how Kuzie didn't want to talk to him. And Daniel's like, I guess I'm not getting her jury vote.
Duh.
I think that's safe to say. The crown is dead.
Yeah.
Daniel says apparently Ty is pissed too because he was trying to convince the girls to keep Kuzie, and he was like, you guys are just gonna do whatever you want anyway, like I don't know why I even bother. And then he played like a silent game of pool with Claudia, very tense.
We're not gonna cuddle later, only a little.
I can't with those two. I know I've said that a million times, but it's just like too much.
Yeah.
So then Renee and Kuzie are chatting in the flamingo room. This was a moshi. Renee's like, I know you probably hate me right now because of what happened. And Kuzie's like, no, I don't hate you. And Renee says, I just wanted to come talk to you because I didn't want you to think that I was like trying to avoid you or avoid the situation.
Renee did the right thing.
Yeah, I thought she handled it well.
That was very nice of her to come and talk to Kuzie.
Well, Kuzie's like, I just want to be on my own or with Ty. I don't want to be around people who have disappointed me.
Wow, my mom is coming. I'm getting flat. I'm getting triggered here.
Well, Kuzie's like, I'm fine. I'll be fine.
It's all right. Do what you want. It's okay. Don't worry about me. I'm just going to lay in my bed here. Bring me a plate.
On a tray.
Yeah.
So Renee apologizes. And Kuzie keeps saying it's fine. And then Renee starts like sobbing.
Yeah.
She's crying hard. And
Do you think Kuzie felt bad after she made Renee cry? Do you think this was the turning point in Kuzie's pettiness? I'm going to say no.
I don't know. I think maybe she appreciated that Renee like felt bad and cared because she hasn't seen a ton of that this week. So Renee goes over and hugs Kuzie. It seemed like Kuzie was maybe wiping away a few tears as well.
She was.
And Renee's telling her, look, I respect you so much. I'm so sorry that this is happening. Mm-hmm. And Kuzie's telling her, keep playing hard, do your best to make it to the end. I believe in you. Yeah, put yourself first, which is what we heard she's going to be saying in her speech as well.
Slurp for me, burp for me, take up a crate for me, put yourself first for me. Yeah.
That is some, what was it? Victorian? No, that's not Victorian Slum House.
No,
that was
Victorian Manor House or something like that.
Georgian? No, I don't know. One of the PBS shows that we freaking love.
They did a like Queen Victoria rap or whatever.
It was a good time. We'll have to talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But anyway, Kuzie's telling Renee, like, don't feel too bad about it. I'm fine. Mm-hmm. So then after Renee left the room, Kuzie's like, pull together. Like, don't be crying on national TV. So I think it definitely was hitting her a little bit.
Good.
But
they care about her. And you know what? It's a freaking game.
Yeah.
Ty is telling everybody, separate the game from the personal.
Mm-hmm.
And she is not.
Yeah, she's taking it very personally. I mean, I would be pissed too if my allies chose, if my ally chose somebody else over me, but
her ally and her ally's ally they're all allies.
Yeah.
It's not like they chose an enemy over her.
Mm-hmm.
They were also in the same alliance.
I think Kuzie thought that Daniel was closer to her than he is to Anika. She didn't realize that she was like the third wheel there. But
well, that was really dumb. I'm sure Daniel probably thought that he was closer to Kuzie than Kuzie was to Ty.
I mean, that was a huge part of their rift.
Yes.
So apparently Big Brother gave the house guests some sort of material to study. I'm assuming it's for the HOH comp.
I'm thinking it was a video.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a video or a picture or if it was even in person. Like, remember when they had to run around and like check the rooms and the house guests were like frozen?
I don't think it was that. I think it was either, like you said, a photo or a video.
Well, it's something to do with former house guests. They kept mentioning Adam, Betty. There were a bunch of other people, Moose, a bunch of other people they were mentioning too. Mm-hmm. So they were trying to study all of that information.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Chapters.
Yeah. It's some sort of like Clue-esque murder mystery kind of thing. So I'm assuming that's going to come into play tonight. Then we've got, right at the end of today's Digital Daily, Kuzie and Ty are alone at the dinner table. And it seems like it's an info dump. Kuzie is explaining some past game moves to Ty, talking him through how things went down. I mean, she's talking about how Jonathan was asking to be voted out, talking about the chain of safety and why Hope was her first choice, talking about Santina's secret HOH and how Santina told Jonathan, Jonathan told some people. And guess what? Kuzie spills about the crown.
Oh my God. What was the time of death for the crown?
She spills about the crown.
This is
to Ty.
This is what happened. If you
Oh my
don't
God.
speak English, I'm going to do a representation of what Kuzie did. In the toilet. It's gone. It's dead.
Well, she even showed him that hand motion that they were doing in the diary room.
Flush
when they were
it
voting.
down the toilet.
And Ty and Kuzie were laughing about it.
They had a nice laugh about
it.
it.
Did I say Kai? And Ty was like, you guys are...
That could have been an alliance.
Yeah.
Kuzie, Kuzie,
yeah.
and Kai.
So she spilled the beans. And I mean, I guess we know who Kuzie will be passing her Wendy's points to.
She was also saying what a pushover Jonathan was and what it like.
Well, she wasn't saying he was a pushover. She was saying like, oh, he missed his wife. He wanted a phone call from her. He just couldn't handle like the dirtiness of the game. So he was asking
no
to
stone
be
cold
voted
killer.
out.
He was too nice a guy. Great. That's who you want to be in an alliance with. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I would be shocked if Kuzie gave her points to anyone other than Ty. Shocked. So he's going to be getting a lot of Wendy's points.
He sure is. And there's going to be a lot of disappointed people at the jury house. At first, they're going to be disappointed to see Kuzie there. And then secondly, they're going to be disappointed that Kuzie sold them out and was playing with Ty behind, the crown's back kind of situation. And it's just going to be a big mess.
It's a mess.
She's got a lot of explaining to do when she gets to jury house.
Well, I didn't think Kuzie would be the one to spill the beans.
I didn't either. I thought it was going to be Hope.
Yeah, I did too. Or Daniel.
Yeah.
Well, we've got the double eviction tonight.
Baby.
Yes. I think it's pretty safe to say that Kuzie will be leaving first. But then who's going to be second? I don't know. It could be anybody, really.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Renee, as strange as that may sound.
Yeah.
And if Renee can't put the dots together, I'm hoping that Ty is going to win. And I never thought I'd say that.
Don't make me root for Ty. Don't make me do it.
I don't think we have any other choice.
We'll see what happens. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We will be back for the double eviction tonight.
I'm gone to the dark side.
Yeah. So we'll see you later. Thank you for being here. And until next time, much love.
Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Tonight.
Bye, guys. Bye.